call our meeting to order for Thursday, September 20th. Roll call, please.
Mr. Martin?
Here.
Mr. Spence?
Here.
Mrs. Foreman?
Here.
Administrator?
Present.
Mayor?
Here.
Solicitor is absent. Fiscal officer is present. Mr. Merriman?
Here.
Mr. Mattern?
Here.
Mr. Dakenko?
Here.
Everyone, please stand for a moment of silence on the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You have the minutes from our September 6th meeting. Motion be in order to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Comments or questions? Seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Mr. Martin?
Abstain.
Mr. Spence?
Yay.
Mrs. Foreman?
Yay.
Mr. Merriman?
Yeah.
Mr. Mattern?
Yeah.
Mr. Dakenko?
Yay.
Thank you. Motion passes. Is there anyone who would like to speak before council tonight? Please come forward.
Good evening, everybody. My name's Ron Kavanaugh. I'm from 157 Beechwood Boulevard. First of all, I want to compliment the village on being able to get the grant money that they did in order to pave and fix Beechwood. As you already know, it is somewhat of a mess. I do want to thank council for that. I also want to thank council for taking the initiative to get the house at 252 Beechwood Boulevard dismantled, demolished, whatever the case you want to use. I do have a question about another residence in Beechwood that I did speak with the mayor prior to this meeting about. And that would be located at the 209 Beechwood Boulevard address. Sits down by the Bells of Beechwood.
Yes,
If you're familiar with that location.
Yeah, let me advise council where that stands. Again, that property is on our list to be tore down with the land bank. There's some issues with the property that need to be signed over to the land bank, and that is owned by the Christopher family. The Christopher family was under the belief because the bank owned it, but unfortunately it's still under the name of the Christophers. So they needed to sign some papers to sign it over to the land bank, which we ultimately have gotten done. So that property is in the motions to go over to the land bank. Once completed, then it will be on the approved list for the land bank to tear down, which unfortunately is too late this year for it to occur. So I'm hoping early spring we can get it done. Again, just like 252, I've been working on that probably for the last 5 months, in which we finally got all the paperwork through that. There will be some other documents probably that will need assigned by the Christophers as we go through this process. So it's unfortunate, and I wish we were hoping to have it done this fall as well, but it's not going to make it. The one at 252 Beechwood is done, will be done, and the one in Ellsworth will be done. There's 2 other properties, the one you mentioned, and there's one on Sabina that's terrible as well. So we're hoping also to get that done next year as well. So
As I explained to Mr. Gale in reference to the 209 Beechwood, a lot of rodents, rats, mice. I walk my dog about 5 nights out of the week around that neighborhood, and there has also been coyotes spotted in the backyard of that residence that actually lines up with sewage plant. I still believe it's called A, where they're coming up over the hill from there. Free meal, all the rodents hanging out at that address. So I just wanted to put an emphasis on that. If you could actually get that done, after you said, Mr. Gale, that'll be a time thing that you have to deal with.
Yeah.
The other one I have is reference to a tree. Beechwood Boulevard in Starkey. This tree is blocking the line of sight at the stop sign. You have to stop way ahead of the stop sign in order to look on Beechwood, but then you can't see up Starkey. And when you proceed to go down to look up Starkey, you can't see what's coming up from Beechwood. My other concern with that is that this tree is also obstructing the view of a fire hydrant that actually sits down over a ravine, and it's called a weeping pine tree. The way the branches fall down over top of it, if a fire engine would come in there at a good rate of speed for a working structure fire, there's a good chance he's going to miss that hydrant because it is obstructed by those branches.
Again, thank you for bringing it to our attention. I will. We have to get with the property owner to have that resolved. We can do it.
So much right away, we will let the property owners know and go back.
We can do it?
Because you're coming out Beechwood onto Starkey.
It's on the.
That would be correct, yes.
If we can take care of it, please do.
It's right there at the intersection. You're definitely not going to miss it.
Where you mean.
Yeah. The only other thing I wanted to mention tonight was you had a gentleman here, I think it was 3 meetings ago, correct me if I'm wrong, but made some pretty negative remarks in reference to the cleanliness of the village. I want to dispute that. I know the village is limited on what their finances are, what their manpower are, what they can and cannot do, and when they can get it done, just like any other organization. I just thought I took personal insult to those comments by this gentleman, especially when he turns around and the next meeting wants to come to you and work up a deal in reference to moving the courthouse from District 2 to this location. I just feel that's a little bit of an insult to the village to say those things and then turn around and then expect a favor from them. And basically, that's all I got.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else? Seeing none, we'll move forward. Reading of ordinances. You have before you ordinance number 2018-11. It's a second read. A resolution authorizing Mayor Bob Gale to prepare and submit an application to participate in the Ohio Public Works Commission state capital improvement and/or local transportation improvement programs and to execute contract as required. Is this needed tonight?
No, we can do
Okay.
it in October.
It's the only resolution we have. Reports and announcements. I'd like to get the trick or treat schedule on the calendar and approved. Basically, we're going to follow as we do in the past. It'll be October 31st from 5:30 to 7:30. That will be the official times for the Village of Wintersville for trick or treat. And it actually does this year fall in line with Steubenville as well. Mr. Martin, the party, is that still going to be 6 to 9?
Yeah, it'll be
At the
6 to
junior
9.
high- At the elementary building,
Yeah,
correct?
6 and 9. I'll get the flyers out on that
Okay.
here.
We still have time, but
Okay.
just make that recommendation and notice.
Okay.
Just to make council aware, we can do this tonight and approve it, or you can think about it and do it at the next meeting. I have a conflict the second meeting of October 18th. Well, I'd like to request that council, we can move that meeting to Wednesday, October 17th at 7 p.m. So if you can look at your calendars and we can discuss that at the next meeting, I'd appreciate it.
This is in October, Mayor?
Yeah, to be the second meeting in October. Instead of a Thursday, move it to the 17th, a Wednesday. I have some family commitments to get through, and I'd like to, hopefully we can move that. That's all I have. Administrator.
First time on your list, the Phase 4 sewer project. Karen paving was completed today. Looks very nice. There's a little bit of trench repair in the knolls that needs to be done, all the patching in the roadway. There is possibly 1 or 2 spots that there needs to be some reseeding, some restoration there. I think they have 1 more manhole to put in. And then first week of October, we'll be doing a final walkthrough and a punch list. Technically, the contractor should be complete with all work by October the 5th, and
Who will be going through the walkthrough on this?
our RPR from Quixels, the contractor, and probably me.
Okay. And again, I'm very concerned, because of the seeding and the grass growing in some areas where it has not, and I'm not sure if it will, this time of year. It should grow,
Oh, it
but
should now.
it should. But I'm saying I don't want to be in a position in the spring where we found spots that didn't grow and our employees have to go take care of it. So a lot of them driving by, you'll see. I'm more concerned about those in those backyards to make sure that, we walk those lines
Okay.
that were disturbed, especially, behind McConnell and anywhere else in the knolls where, we went into people's backyards, we may not see as clearly. I really don't want to be in a position next year where, we have 100 yards that the village has to clean up. And again, sorry. I said it last meeting, I'll say it again. I appreciate the people in Karen for their patience. We've had a few discussions over there. I've gone over there a couple times during the project. All in all, this project went longer than we had ever anticipated. That road was deplorable for a long time, and I even drove on it almost every day. So, I thank them for their patience. And I think, again, as I said last time, I think that road now being paved is a lot better than it was. There's storm drains from the spring that has been corrected, so I think that's going to help us with ice buildup this summer. And more importantly, the project was successful because the sewage now is all new, the sewage going in, and we have not, with all of these rains, it's been a lot of rain this summer, we have not gone over, the sewage plant has not once overflowed, which is remarkable because the rain we've had. So again, we're not done. There's going to be other subdivisions we'll be tearing up, but for the long haul, like I told the residents, it's a temporary nuisance for, for something that will be long-standing, beneficial to everybody. So again, I thank them. And next, you're going to bring up Beechwood. Beechwood, hopefully, it won't be that bad.
No. Beechwood, the equipment's moved in at the gazebo down on Winters Drive. They're scheduled for tomorrow and Saturday to do the base repairs. They've already saw cut everything. Paving would then follow next week, weather permitting, but they should wrap that up within the next 2 weeks if the weather holds. And just again, a reminder, the hydrant flushing will start Sunday, September 30th through October 5th, 10 p.m. to 6 a.m., and there may be some low pressure and discoloration of the water. The restroom construction project down back is moving a little slowly, again because of the excessive rain. They have the plumbing, the footers in, the block is up, the plumbing is roughed in, and they should be, the trusses are down there. They should start building the walls next week, or at least a couple of walls, and then they will pour the floor slab, and then it should move a little quicker once they get it on the roof. It won't be so weather dependent. They'll be able to work inside a little bit more on bad days. Next item, I did get another pressure washer quote. The one we had from last meeting with Diamond Specialized in Richmond was $1,471. Have a similar machine from Argos Sales. It's $1,589. So roughly a little over $100 difference. Since we do have the one with Diamond Specialized out of Richmond, I'd like a go ahead to order that new pressure washer for the equipment.
On this bid for Argo, it just lists 3 items compared to the bid for Diamond. There's an $860
Right, but it's
difference.
still the whole machine. It's still everything we need. They just broke things out a little more.
It says 20 foot, 25, poly tubing, 1/4-inch hose. That's not over here on the other's quote. That's the question. So you're saying it, I mean.
Well, he has miscellaneous parts to upgrade the machine. That's included in the
It's kind of
final
scary.
price.
Kind of scary.
Look, Vern went out and talked to.
Okay.
He's.
I get it. 2 things. One, I mean, you recommended Diamond, the council needs to consider that. 2, and again, they're out of the village in Richmond. The other one is in the village, but it's a little bit, well, yes and no. So, man,
Yes.
just 2 feet. All right, but anyway, so the recommendation is from Diamond Specialized. So.
I'll make a motion to accept Diamond Specialized.
I'll second it.
Comments or questions? Seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Mr. Martin?
Yay.
Mr. Spence?
Yay.
Mrs. Foreman? Yay. Mr. Merriman?
Yay.
Mr. Mattern?
Yay.
Mr. Degenkolb?
Yay.
Thank you.
Okay, next item is a pipe locator for the water and sewer and the before you dig calls. I was able to find 3 others. They are not similar. They are less expensive, and I would recommend the one we had last week. I have one of them. These are all by the same company. They seem to be the leader in this type of material, Schonstedt. The one we were recommending is $3,678. The other one, the other 3 that I looked at, it doesn't have all of the frequencies for pipe and wire. It's $2,800, and then there's a much cheaper one, a single frequency for $2,300. And then another one just has a camera in it. It's not even, it's to get into pipe. It's for $1,500, but that's really not what we need.
Well, again, based on that, I think, thank you for doing your due diligence, but I think what we need is what was requested at the
3678.
78. So I'd ask council's approval. So a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Comments or questions? Seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Mr. Martin?
Yay.
Mr. Spence?
Yay.
Mrs. Foreman? Yay. Mr. Merriman?
Yay.
Mr. Mattern?
Yay.
Mr. Dekenkolb?
Yay.
Thank you. Again, this is a piece of equipment that will assist in making the employees do their jobs a little bit quicker and a little bit more accurate, and it's much appreciated. And again, there's a lot of locations that are going to be occurring. So this is great news. Thank you.
The last item, I just put on, I'm going to need to get a little bit more information and maybe have for you for the next meeting. This looks like it's going to be an emergency sewer line replacement. It's behind Columbia Gas. There's a little bit of blockage there and some pipe collapse. Some things are still going through. We identified this in the Phase 5, but we may want to get it done sooner. Should be approximately $35,000 to $40,000. We've got a little over $600,000 in the sewer contingency funds, but I want to talk a little bit with our consulting engineers first and then come back next week to see about knocking us out. It's in their parking lot, it's in the back, but I don't want anything
No, I
getting
understand.
pumped out through there because it is.
I do understand, but unfortunately, it's a high dollar, so we're going to have to go out to bid.
I think it has to be over 50.
Did he
I would get quotes.
Quotes,
but yes,
quotes.
I would
I'm
get
sorry, quotes.
yeah.
Let's get some quotes, and it's an emergency.
Yes.
Let's go from there.
Yes, okay. And that's it.
Do you think that by the next meeting?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Any questions for the administration? Seeing none, we'll move forward. Any unfinished business?
Nothing.
Any new business? Mr. Martin?
New business, other than I was just going to bring up the Halloween thing that's coming up, which you already brought forth. And that's all I was going to talk about. And then I'll get with the schedule on that here in a couple of weeks and start getting everything out to the schools and get it, get our approval papers back from them so that we could give the location, time, and everybody. So other than that, that's all I have today, Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Spence?
At the request of the auditors that come in, I'll be taking the public records training tomorrow. I believe it's for first term new councilman.
Okay.
That's all.
Ms. Foreman?
Nothing, sir.
Ms. Jean Angel?
Yes, I have two supplemental appropriations that I need a motion to, a motion to approve. The first one was for $1,533,885.20. We increased this for the OWDA loan for phase with the wastewater treatment plant. And the second was, we decreased line item 2071 by $2,387,101. And by doing that, we just divided it in two separate funds to distinguish between a loan and a grant. So it wasn't eliminated, it was just divided.
Okay.
So if I could have a motion for those, please.
So moved.
Second.
Question. Why is it on this report show posted date and transaction date all January?
Yeah, we had done these when we were still tweaking the budget,
Okay.
and it was in temporary mode, but per the audit, he said with amounts like this that we should get just a council approval.
No, I get that. I just would have thought since we're transferring them now, they would have had a more
They're
current.
not transfers.
Well, we're moving them around. Like, I guess.
Well, no, in January, we increased this loan amount, right?
Okay.
In the same fund, we didn't move any.
All right, so this occurred then, we need to act on it per the auditors, so it's recorded.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, motion be in order? Or do we have?
I did.
Do we have a roll call vote, please?
Mr. Martin?
Yes.
Mr. Spence?
Yay.
Mrs. Foreman? Yay. Mr. Merriman?
Yay.
Mr. Mattern?
Yay.
Mr. Dekenkolb?
Yay.
Is that all?
Yes, that's all.
Mr. Merriman?
No business.
Mr. Matter?
Thanks, Mr. Kavanaugh, for bringing up the issues over in Beechwood there. It's also nice to hear people say thank you for the effort you put forth. Sometimes it's a little frustrating, but thank you. I was at the Seven Ranges, had a meeting on the 12th, and the fire district passed out some money that we had. There was also a part of joining these entities on up, they're able to go out for grants now as groups, and there was some air packs that were bought from Hillendale and Wintersville through these grants. So those two entities got some extra air packs through the Seven Ranges. And also, they talked about some 911 technologies too that's coming our way. How if you call 911 on your cell phone and you're outside, they can get to you in a general area. They can get generally pretty close, okay? If you're inside a building, if you call 911, it might not register at all, or it might put you in another aspect of the building or across the street, okay? So it's less consistent and accurate. And there's a new technology coming on out, developed by some 30-year-old guy who's going to be a multi-billionaire soon, where when you hit 911, it will get you within 4 or 5 feet. And the Seven Ranges had a representation up at this fire symposium in Columbus a couple weeks ago and discussed that, and it was kind of pretty interesting. So just an update on the Seven Ranges Fire District. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Degenkolb.
Just to back the comments of the mayor from the Karen project, the road looks fantastic. As someone who lives on Karen and drove that road every day, it was a nightmare for a few months, but it looks great, and so thanks for everybody for their hard work. That's all.
Thank you. A motion to pay the bills.
So moved.
Second.
Comments or questions? Seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Mr. Martin?
Yay.
Mr. Spence?
Yay.
Mrs. Foreman?
Yay.
Mr. Merriman?
Yay.
Mr. Mattern?
Yay.
Mr. Degenkolb?
Yay.
Thank you. Motion to adjourn until October 4th at 7 p.m.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Meeting adjourned.